Good morning, everyone. Before we start this press conference, on behalf of the Sheriff's Office and the entire Cameron County Department, we want to offer our condolences to the families of these victims. And we ask that you please, keep them in your prayers while they try to make sense of this horrific crime. Yesterday, at approximately 11 a.m., we received a 911 call of a female laying in the front of a yard at the 6200 block of Tecate Street here in Brownsville. Immediately, the deputies were dispatched. When they arrived, they found the first female victim laying in a pool of blood outside of the house in front. Deputies also noticed that the front door of the house was open, so they made entry into the home. When they located our second victim, also laying in a pool of blood there at one of the bedrooms of the house. Immediately, investigators were dispatched to the scene, and they started their investigation of this crime. During the course of the investigation, they made contact with numerous family members, which is normal. You contact the family, which are the ones that have, some of the information that's pertinent to the case. And we learned that the young victim that was outside had been having issues with her husband, who is now the suspect, for several times. So immediately we tried to locate him. We learned through other family members that the individual was in Matamoros. Investigators were able to get a hold of him via telephone, and after having a brief conversation with him, they advised him that he needed to come back to Brownsville because they needed to talk to him in reference to what just happened at this home. He agreed to come voluntarily. Investigators met him at one of the port of entries, made contact with him, and started their questioning of the individual. During the questioning, investigators learned that he had indeed been at the home at 5 a.m. in the morning, but had crossed back to Mexico approximately at 7:15, 7 a.m. that same morning yesterday. With that information and additional other information that the individual provided, he then went ahead and confessed to the investigators that yes, he was the one that committed the crime and he had killed both victims. He was taken into custody and he was charged with capital murder. His name is Joel Uriegas Izaguirre, 48 years old. Originally from Matamoros, but he does have a visa crossing card. Investigators continued their investigation and learned that the individual had left the vehicle in Matamoros, which is the one that he had used when he went back after he had committed the crime. With the contacts and the assistance of Mexican authorities, we were able to retrieve that vehicle, brought it back, and right now it's being processed with the investigators. The investigation is not over. We believe there's no other suspects. He is the only target or the only person of interest, no one else. Investigators were also able to recover the blunt object that was used, and they were able to recover it based on the information that the suspect provided to them. One of the things that we need to understand that when acts like this happen, immediately the family and everybody else wants a motive as to why. The only conclusion that we could come up with was that this individual, we knew that he was seeing another female in Matamoros and possibly killed his wife to want to be with only one. It's sad because regardless of the motive that is used when this type of crimes happen, there's other ways to resolve family problems without having to resort to violence. We are not, as a request of the family, and we're gonna respect their request, we are not gonna release the name or the age of the victims due to the fact that there's family members that live out of town and they still haven't been contacted. So we're gonna respect their request and we're not gonna release the name of our victims. Now, this case is not over. The investigators that are here present and several other ones that worked real hard yesterday on this case it's not over. You know, we're still looking at, you know, searching the vehicle that the individual was in. You know, other things have to be tied up before we could say that this case is ready to be presented to the DA's office. We did contact the DA's office yesterday immediately. In cases like this, it's common to contact them just to let them know what's going on. So they were aware of everything that was taking place as the investigation was moving forward. Again, our condolences with the families, and we ask that you please, you know, keep them in your prayers. The individual was arraigned this morning. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder, and he was given a no bond. Most of you all were present there during the arraignment. Again, you know, I congratulate my team. The moment they got there till they actually made an arrest, then he stopped working. It's their dedication. They were able to at least start some sort of healing for the families. We do know that both victims were related. The young victim is the niece of the homeowner. She did not live there. She was only visiting there. The homeowner, according to the whole neighbors around there and people that we spoke to, was somebody who was very well liked around the neighborhood there. Everybody, this lady wouldn't hurt anyone. So yeah, it was a shock to the community what happened. But we want to assure our citizens that this is not just, it wasn't just a random act. This individual planned it, and there was no other victim other than the young victim, which is his wife. But unfortunately, when he walked in the home, the first person that he ran into was the elderly lady, and that's who became the first victim. Again, the investigation is still going on. There's still a lot of legwork that needs to be done. But at this point, this is the only individual that we are looking as a suspect. And he is the only one that's been taken into custody. Yes.
¿Cuál fue el arma que utilizó con qué las mató?
It was a plank that is used, made out of wood. You use it to stir like big pots of meat. You know, they're made out of solid wood. And that's what you could say it was a weapon of opportunity, which is what he found right there immediately when he got into the home.
¿Y la persona estaba bajo alguna sustancia?
At this time, we don't believe he was under any kind of drugs or alcohol. There was no indications to that. He himself did not even make that comment to say that he was under the influence of any narcotics or any kind of substance.
¿Y la persona tenía algún registro de casos de violencia, o sea, en cuestión familiar?
No. The only call that we had prior to that residence was an alarm call, and that was it.
¿Pero ella residía en zona del condado o zona de PD Brownsville?
The city of Brownsville. She lived our victim lived originally in the city of Brownsville, but there was nothing that indicated any prior history between. There was problems, but I mean nothing that was recorded.
¿Algún mensaje en ese sentido a la comunidad? Es un caso de violencia doméstica.
One of the things is, again, you know, family violence. You know, we need to be aware of who we're having a relationship with. And if it's not working out, you need to walk away. You need to walk away, or you need to tell someone so it can help you walk away. This senseless crime, it's like, because you wanted to be with somebody else. I mean, walk away of the relationship. You know, we have one victim who had nothing to do with the individual, and she lost her life. Yeah, you know, family violence is something that we have to definitely take very serious.
Was the object found on him, or where did you all find the object?
Found it at the location, at the crime scene.
And you said you all haven't had prior issues with Uriegas?
No.
And this was a forced entry?
No.
No.
He found the key. He knew where the key was to the house because he frequented the house also. So he knew where the key was, so he made his way inside. And that is, you know, when they heard somebody inside the home, the lady woke up, and that's who he confronted first.
I know you all are not releasing names, but ages of the victims?
We don't want to. We hold that back. We believe that yesterday, your social media people, they kind of already, you know, exposed everything that there was out there, but we are respecting the family's decision.
I know that in the press release, you guys mentioned that, you know, someone made the 911 call saying that they found someone laying in a pool of blood. Was it just that one individual? Do we know if it was the wife or the niece?
No,
or-
it was just one individual that went to go check up on the families, to go actually check up on the elderly lady, for the request of another family member.
And who was in that pool of blood? The wife or the?
The wife, the one that was outside was the wife of the suspect. The homeowner was inside.
Por último, ¿podría hacer un comentario en español?
Sí.